Day. The holiday.
The holiday. Or J, yeah. There you go.
Got it. All right. Revel?
Stymel.
Stymel?
Stymely.
Stymely.
Yeah.
Stymely. Got it. Heath, Stymely, Jeffries. Got it.
What's our senior night? I know.
The holiday. The holiday. The holiday. Got it. Okay.
Wednesday, the 29th
Awesome.
and 30th, we play Seven Hills and Deer Park. That's who it was. Deer Park.
Yes, sir. You said Max is not bowling, correct?
Ben is not starting.
Okay, Ben is not starting. Okay.
Hi, guys. Tonight, Finneytown. Next Wednesday,
So Max is. Okay.
Reading Seven Hills. Thursday, Deer Park. Saturday, the first St. Chad's Challenge. I won't be here for that. Okay. Oh, that's right. We were doing that challenge. Isn't that like the MCH or like the...
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a Saturday.
Ryan is not starting.
Okay. But Ben is.
Adam, Ben, Max,
Wednesday the 5th.
So Adam, Ben, Nate.
Max.
Yeah.
Max is 3, Nate is 4, and Robbie's 5.
Okay, cool. Excellent. I'm going to try.
Hook up to the system or what?
Is there a system? Oh, that'd be really nice if they could do that. No, we're going to try. It's going to be hard to track because I'm keeping track of all of it. I don't know. We're supposed to have like 2 students doing this, so it's literally Mr. Eden and I, so we may just make it through the 2 rounds. But I'm going to have to stand up to see the bowls. I like the new jerseys, though.
Thank you. I'm trying. See those in the next 4 years.
Hey, who's your 5th, by the way? Yeah. Who are you starting with? Dylan, Steven, Sammy, Zach.
My girlfriend, like, out there.
Yeah, when we start practicing.
Okay.
17, 18, you see it? MJV1, MJV2. I mean,
Yes, sir. It's going to his iPad, actually. Yeah, so we have a Sling Studio, and all these cameras, like that thing on top, brings it all through that system to his iPad, and then the sound and everything goes there too. Okay, yeah, so it's called Sling Studio. Yeah, I'm sure I could do it through the computer, but I'm not completely sure. So. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it's called Sling Studio. Okay, yeah. Now, you can put the card into there and it will record what he does on his iPad, but he can mix between 3 or 4 different things. If you have a better internet connection than here, you could stream it live. But we don't have those resources here. Sure. Absolutely. Test 1, 2. Owen is in the building.
Does that start practice? Hold on. Go get it.
Bouncing ball.
You still good for the first? Okay, sorry. My fault. I went to do it. Some kid walked in and needed help.
Hey, don't let students get in the way of your real job.
See that guy in the red hat? That's good.
Mr. Eden. Nathan. Nathan. So there's like 7.5 minutes left. I'd like to know which one of these are which one. Like, I gotta try and learn their names. You know?
Who's who?
Yeah. Because that's Banks and Berger. That's Ben Woodruff. Casey Dutrow. So I'm guessing Sammy. I'm just yelling out names. Yeah. Michael should be here, right?
Use this rocker right here.
Like you say, get the reaction of the faces, but there's
Good afternoon from Madison Bowl. I am Brian Sugarman, and we are here to broadcast this CHL matchup versus the Mariemont Warriors versus the Finneytown Rolling Cats. You're getting audio?
That's what I need to check. It's live though.
Well, I just did the intro, so. What? We can ask him to move. Cool. Did you win?
Yeah, I maxed out at 405.
That's awesome, man.
That was a terrible fist bump, my bad.
You're good.
Yeah, I maxed out at 405.
How are we doing with sound? Good. All right. We know who the bowlers are. There you go. Coleman Downhill.
You guys want a mic'd up moment in the team huddle?
Oh, we need to do that.
Good afternoon from Madison Bowl. Pins to 1,814 pins. Beat Winton Woods 1912 to 1508. And they lost to Claremont Northeastern 25-25 to 22-43. Finneytown coming in at Madison Bowl this afternoon. I again am Brian Sugarman, and we are proud to bring this CHL bowling matchup once again between the Mariemont Warriors and the Finneytown Rolling Cats. We do have some bowlers to look forward to today. And the number one bowler, Adam Stymie. At the second bowl, Ben Jeffries. At the third, Max Revel. At the fourth, Nate Heath. And bowling in the fifth position, starting his afternoon on lane 23. Banks lets it go. He releases it, goes a little left of center, and leaves two hanging as Zach Dutro, I apologize, picks up the spare on his first nine. So he's going to try and pick up the spare here. As you see, the CHL leader, Dylan Berger, starts the afternoon off with a strike. And you also see Sammy picking up the spare. Pick up the spare here. As you see, the CHL leader, Dylan Berger, starts the afternoon and get a new opponent. But once you're out that game, you cannot come back in. Once these two games are over, we'll calculate the scores. We'll let you know how we're doing. Town stepping up here. They are closing those frames. Finneytown with a hot start over here on 23 and 24. Now let's take a look over here at 55 and 50. As we're waiting, Stephen Banks gets a nice 9 to start off the third frame for himself. Stymie gets another strike. Keeping it going, but it's fascinating how talented these young men are. As Berger gets in the slot and hits the third strike, he's keeping match with Adam over this matchup with Finneytown. The first time Finneytown and Mariemont met this year, it was on Thursday, December 12th, and Mariemont won by a convincing 162 pins. But Finneytown has that fourth frame with a strike. Our good friend over there, Ben Jeffries, again trying to match. Over there in lane 27 and 28, we have the number 5 bowler from both teams. You have Ben Woodruff and you have Ravi. He is now 5 frames in, 5 strikes. And Finneytown trying to pick up the spare right next door, but had a split, unfortunately. Regular portion of it. When we get into those Baker games, they've thrown 42 Baker games. Their high score is 248, and that is the last time we broadcast one of these games. So you never know. We last season for Mariemont. Dylan Berger was the first team, and we've talked about him a few times, but Coach Jim Barr, in his first season as the head coach of the Mariemont bowling team, was named the CHL Coach of the Year, which is struggling just a little to pick up the strikes overall. But Dylan Berger seems to be holding them back in here. And again, we're here just as a boys match today. The ladies are to my far untended. Ben Woodruff sitting over there, struggling to get there in the 9th frame. Again, looking to advance and get right in that $100. That's right. That's a timely joke there, because the best football players are also Super Bowlers. That's right. Coach Jim Barr on the headset and try and interview him, talk about some of the stuff that's going on in these games. He seems to be pacing right now. Not exactly happy with what he sees, but definitely working on it. Our friend on 24 with the double are dressed to a T here. They are in yellow and blue of Mariemont colors with the Mariemont logo on the back and Warriors written very cleanly across the back. The Bowling Wildcats are here with a Wildcat jumping out of the F that stands for Finneytown with Wildcats on the back. They're here in a light baby blue, so both just the honest truth here. It is fascinating, it's awesome, but as scores and things update and do all of that stuff, it is rather difficult at times. But we're going to get Michael Ryan on the broadcast here soon. Mike, looks like Brody Boswell's coming in, taking the spot of Stephen Banks, it appears. I don't feel it's an injury. Boswell may be good at picking up this spare. Game one. Let's go with game one. After game one, Finneytown had 182 pins to Mariemont's 102. So after one complete game, it appears that Finneytown is up 80 points on Mariemont. And almost picked the split up, but he is struggling. He started with 6 strikes to start, 5 strikes, and has left a couple hanging out. But it's okay. We will let him keep getting his things. Hopefully get Finneytown having some nice, they're number 1 and number 2 over here. That's Mr. Adam and Ben having a nice first match here. As Adam, family, and even some random spectators that were just here to have a good day are coming over and supporting these bowling teams. I wish more of our student athletes and students at Mariemont would come out and support our bowling team, because truly, they put in a lot of practice, a lot of work. See what Finneytown's doing. Both of them scored a little better than Banks this first round. We're going to try and get the score after the first round of individual games and see where we're standing. But Dylan seems to be falling off the pace just a little, as he left himself a 4-set the other day. And I was going bowling with some friends on a Wednesday evening, and asked Coach Barr for some pointers. So what pointers do you think, if you were a bowling coach, Michael, what pointers would you give?
Well, considering I haven't bowled since I was about 10 years old.
6 in that, maybe we should bring Mr. Radloff in here next week. He can give us a physics lesson on bowling. That'd actually be a lot of fun. We should do a...
he would be our celebrity guest.
He should be our celebrity guest. But so... you throw it, and throwing it straight. That is the key to all of this. Just throw the ball straight. And Finneytown finished their number 1 and 2 bowlers. That is Adam Stymie, bowled a 165. And Finneytown's number 2, Ben Jeffries, bowled a 200. So looking at that right now, we had 365 for Finneytown of bowling.
Mr. Sugarman, if you were Coach Barr, what would you preach to your team about what they need to do better in the second game and what they need to keep doing well? Absolutely. So if I'm looking and analyzing what I've watched out here in bowling, is there is a lot of inconsistencies. So the boy Baker game, because don't worry, the Baker game is where it's at. We got Finneytown huddling up over there. And if I'm Finneytown's coach, what are you telling them? Getting to that point, Mariemont's been very consistent throughout the entire season, but we're looking to pick it up now as the gentlemen are cleaning off their bowling balls. Get up there, forget about what you're doing, because once it gets in your head, it's over, and it's all these different sports. So let's see, can Banks start off on a bet? Left one hanging, almost had a split there, but a little gust of wind from the gutter helped him knock that one down. But here we go, stepping up. The ball, the pitch, and it's it's bowling. We've got no time to spare. We've just got to go at it and get it right from the beginning. Banks, just pushed what he is going to do with his second ball. We are quite excited as Banks steps up, releases the ball. This one looks good from the onset and did not finish. There was not enough rotation on that ball, says Dylan as he's trying to coach him up. Special shout out to our administration at Mariemont High School. Yep, that's you, Mr. Trevor Block. We appreciate all you've done. And Dr. Jim Renner, we appreciate your support of the Warriors. Hankel leaving that one open, unfortunately, after a nice start to the game. Mr. Woodruff subbing in over there for Mariemont's fifth. He's taking the place, or as he's got one single pin, and he got it. What we're going to have to get some information on what the hand raised is. So let's see if we can get some magic in here. We're going to call Lucas onto the broadcast.
They don't get a strike. There's only one pin left. Everyone who puts their hands up is saying, you know, we kind of don't want you to make it because if you miss, you owe us a pop. So everyone with their hands up gets a pop if they miss. If they don't miss, then, you know, they got a spare.
Now, does he know that your hands are raised?
Oh, no. No.
Okay. We're down 912 for Finneytown after game one total to 769.
It's a tough score to make up.
We definitely need to get some pins here. So bring Lucas on the broadcast here. Lucas was one of our students who took advantage of one of our global lights of it because we were there when it was lighting up. I enjoyed that from the ground. It was a new experience for me. But the summit itself, it's a leadership summit. You go there, you try and learn a bunch of leadership skills. Tell me your favorite part of the actual summit when we were there.
My favorite part of the actual summit, so we're
communication. So I love hearing about communication and how you had to break down some barriers. There were students in your groups who didn't speak English. There were some with different dialects from different parts of the United States. But it's truly an incredible atmosphere. If you can tell somebody who's on the fence,
still keep in contact. I talk with different people on Instagram because I can talk with them while they're in France. I can talk with them while they're in Germany. I have one friend in Colombia right now, and they're all great people that I'm so excited I got to meet. And it was just the new people that made everything so much better no matter where I was.
Pick up the spare here. He didn't have two. I was going to get in the game and put my hand up as I'm getting thirsty doing this broadcast. I thought maybe I could. So, let's see. Dylan trying to pick up the spare here. He didn't have two. I was going to get in the game and put my hand up. You know, in my previous 10 years before I came to Mariemont, I was a third grade math teacher. So lots of addition, lots of subtraction, a lot of that stuff. But now I'm broadcasting bowling, and I love every minute of it. I actually got checked at the door. They were doing standing room only, and I didn't have a ticket. But I let them know that I was part of the Warrior Broadcast Network, and that holds a lot of clout. So they definitely let us in the door for that one. I mean,
show them the badge.
I don't see anyone else in this area. Burner, don't you worry.
But what was the pun?
We'll get there.
We're gonna get there.
We'll get there. It might have to be a Baker game pun, but we'll see what we're going. But you know, one of my favorite stores growing up as a kid was Toys R Us, right? Mm-hmm. I need hitting to the left to right, and he got the strike. Look at that. We should call that every time. Here, that match number 5 over there is completed. Finneytown picking up even more pins over there. Finneytown picked up 28 more pins on the 5th bowler, but Banksy says no, and he puts that strike in. That's another strike here. This is the way. I think what Mariemont's going to have, I'll hold on to that one for a second, but Dylan gets another strike here.
Baker games.
I think we're going to go with it. But the good news is, you know, we are at Madison Bowl, and even though it's one of the older bowling alleys in the area, they do have internet. But Coach Barr's right behind you, so Mayfield. But Banks coming in strong on the 10th frame, throws a first strike. Can he get 2 more? That would be a great way to close out the individual games. As Dutro gets one too. He pulled 3 strikes in a row. And guess what? Do you know Zachary Dutro? This is what we need heading into the Baker. In the 10th frame here, and he picked it up. That was awesome. Now we're looking for 1 strike. Let's get 10 more pins in this as we are going. What's helping Mariemont now is Finneytown's number 4, Nate Heath, is struggling this match. Had a great match, and it's great to see.
Fans and crowd behind them.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, Michael, is they are in this together. It truly is an individual. And let's see, can he pick up one more? A strike here would give him 30 for that 9th frame. He would have one. All right, he bowled a 205, and we had a 177. So Dylan's talking to his father, getting some points, is excited about his 205. I think we've got some energy building going into the Baker games here, as Dutro finished very nicely. Actually, if I'm not
Be the next person for this team. With these guys graduating this year, they're looking to step up and take control. Obviously, Dylan and Steven leaving the team, it's a big loss because they're two great bowlers, but they're trying to step up and take their, or fill their shoes, sorry.
Absolutely. You couldn't be more right. Great senior. I know you weren't on our last broadcast. This was brought to my attention. Do you know what 6 strikes is called? And no, it's not a double turkey, or as some might try and reference it, a stuffed turkey. That is not the name of it.
Steven did explain this to me. He said that a 6-1, or that would be called a 6.
It's the entire game.
Perfect game.
It is a perfect game, but we should never talk about that. Just as like in baseball, we should never do that. It appears we are waiting for one more gentleman to throw a ball on 26. We weren't sure Sammy was going to get it, but here comes Kenny strike out here. He got issues.
You don't need those.
Well,
And plus, they got them already here.
I don't think I need him, but the bowling alley may not appreciate it. Now, let's go, what do you think? If I bowled 2 frames,
2 frames. Okay.
what do you think I would do? You think I would do okay? I mean, there might be a possibility we could go over to the girls practicing over there, and they might let me throw one.
I would love to see that. We'll make sure we get that on film. We should definitely try and do that. I don't know. I've never seen you bowl before. You look like you're a pro, though, so I'm going to say you're going to go back-to-back with 2 strikes.
Oh, back-to-back with 2 strikes. Now,
Or get a deuce.
that is asking for a lot.
How about 1 strike?
They are leading going into the Baker games 1,650 pins to 1,617 pins. Mariemont is up 33 pins. Baker game. Finneytown's huddling up again. So, moving into the Baker game. Finneytown, last time they huddled like that, didn't work out so well. What do you think the coach is telling them right now?
I think their coach is telling them they have to come back and they have to do what they did in the first game. They dominated the first game. They got to come back and do the
team. But you should see when they get a strike, Mariemont cheers. And it is exciting.
Not just his team behind him, but he also has the entire love of the Mariemont student section. They are cheering their hearts out, trying to get everyone pumped up and going.
Absolutely. Oh, we do have a substitution in this Baker game as well. It looks like Ben Woodruff coming back into the action. Not happy with his first bowl. Looked pretty disappointed. Fans, all we need here is the Mariemont High School band. Could you imagine?
Exactly. We should get the band to come to the next game.
I think we need to talk to Mr. Jimmy Galloway, our beloved band director, and just imagine, as somebody stepping up, you've got the horns blowing, you've got the drums beating. And tonight, both teams struggling to get some consistency as Banks looks to change that around for Mariemont here as he releases the ball. It's spinning right to left, and he hits the head pin a little too high and leaves 2 hanging. Here comes that senior leader wants to lead by example. So let's see. He's going to do a 6-step approach, it appears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The ball's released, and it's good. And he left but get another spare. Apparently, our gentleman from Finneytown is the Messiah.
Yeah, I can't really see the pins. That's why I'm not zooming in.
Ravi. But the young gentleman from Finneytown got a strike, looked as surprised as anyone, turns around and was going to cheer with his team but forgot what to say. But it is okay as Ben Woodruff steps up and gets himself 8 pins. He did get it That keeps us going. I hear noises coming from all over. It's the fans in this place are going absolutely crazy. As Finneytown leaves two standing, they have left. Keeps the fun in the game as Sammy found a way to curve through that chance that they like doing. Keeps the fun in the game as Sammy 33 pins. You need to get every pin in here, and Banks does what he needs to do. So Mariemont keeping the blue in. When you're just up 33 pins, you need to get every pin in here, and Banks does what he needs to strike here. They are at 173. Dylan with the C left one hanging. It was a good bowl, but did not get that. Robbie. So, Mariemont is up 16 pins heading into.
Warriors on, trying to help them win this
I wouldn't
game.
even say they're on the edge of their seat. Nobody's sitting in this place. Everybody is on their feet, cheering, chanting, and hollering as Dutro leaves himself a split Super Bowl, which comes to you live next Sunday. I actually don't think we're allowed to use those two words together on a broadcast. I think they're copyright.
I don't think they'll notice.
But we are the Warriors Broadcast Network. And Mr. Block, that one was for you. I know you are one of our dedicated listeners, and we appreciate you giving the love to the Warriors Broadcast Network. But what we need now is we need Ben Woodruff. Now, Michael, I'm going to give you a challenge here.
Okay.
Next time Finneytown has a good bowl and they chant something, can you try and figure out what they say? Because I have no idea.
I don't know what they're saying. Probably ask maybe one of their. Some people are, some competitors are. I mean, you've got people like, Joey Votto who never show emotion, and then you've got other players who show a lot of emotion. I feel like that's just how he plays.
Coach Barr over there wants Mariemont to keep their 16-pin lead.
Now, Mr. Sugarman, what would you say Coach Barr's coaching style is like? Does he try to help his players after every time they go up, or does he kind of let them do it themselves?
I think bowling in general is a very independent back end of the roster to get somebody who's hot to keep bowling.
So what you're kind of saying there is he looks at his seniors for more leadership during the matches. He wants them coaching up the other players who are more underclassmen, and he kind of tries to stay off to the side.
Yeah, I think it's more of a motivational type style. So
what you're kind of saying is it's not about going for strikes every single time you bowl. It's about doing the little things right, so that way you do good in the end. It's about picking up the spares. It's about getting those points that you don't want to leave on the table.
Absolutely. I think leaving pins on the and we'll see what happens. But luckily, Finneytown is not having a strong match as well. But it does appear to me that Mariemont may be coming from behind in the third. And let's see. Here's one of the senior leaders you keep talking about. He did not get enough spin there. Did not get enough pins. But he's got 2 pins left. Dylan giving some pointers from the pack here. But always end up losing in the end. Mm-hmm. I believe that one was I Love You, Mrs. Simpson. So I think that's a Simpson. I think that was a Simpson reference over there that we had on lane 23.
That or they just got a teacher they like.
There you go. But who knows? But what I do know is Dylan just bowled ourselves a strike here. Let's see if he can getting another spare there. It is.
So would you say we can't spare any pin?
We cannot spare a single pin here. And Dylan left 3 hanging there to end the game. So it actually appears that I was wrong. That does happen once in a while. But Finneytown is at 143 with this last bowl. And they got 153 in this second match. So they gained again 4. Yes, I would agree. He does look a little concerned over there. Yeah.
Sorry, I got pulled away by the crowd for a second.
It's okay. The crowd's going crazy over here.
The crowd
so.
is going crazy. You've got senior leaders like Zach Stith, Lucas Wilner, and J.J. Tenenfeld all cheering their hearts out, wanting their...
Definitely don't. What amazes me, and you can see how much these kids do put in, we still have some of our female bowlers still sticking around practicing. Most practices last an hour, hour and a half. They've been here for almost... Picks up the spare. That's exactly what we needed. Well done, starting off on a high note. And let's see if Finneytown can capitalize. And he did. We are even. So we do appreciate him coming back, and our stat checker on the afternoon did a nice job of getting that information for us. We have a whole team here at the Warriors Broadcast Network. Not only do we have fantastic people recording the game, for his 5,234th pin, if he gets all 10 of these right now. If not, he turned around and was not happy with that. So it looks like he left 5 standing. So he's not quite there to the 5,000. And hopefully strikes are us is coming.
I know everyone in this building is on the edge of their seat. The Mariemont student section is cheering very, very loudly. So is the Finneytown Wildcats section. They're trying to get the team going. It's good.
Bears. We need to see some strikes. And we do have the 5-pin left on lane 24. The 5-pin is the only pin remaining, which means we can go to the hand in the air to get yourself a cherry Coke. As we will be broadcasting for the first time ever, to my knowledge, a swimming meet from Mariemont High School. We are extremely excited to do another new event and continue to build our repertoire of things we are just amazing. Park, which is down below near the pool area, and I saw probably 10 to 15 police vehicles, and I was not worried because we are very safe at Mariemont High School, and they were all vehicles that looked like they knew what they were doing. But I left it hanging. Sorry, he was in my way. So it looks like Mariemont after 7. After 7.
Oh, we put our hands up.
It's not the right pin. After 7, Mariemont was down 7 pins, but picked up a spare here into the last game and determine who is going to win this CHL matchup between the Mariemont Warriors and the Finneytown Rolling Cats. And Banksy gets it. It also appears that
The strike. I mean,
this is when you need the leader to come through you.
Dylan Berger currently referencing SpongeBob right there with the chant after he got a strike. You love to see it. You love to see the team getting into it, and you love to see. All right, you're only as good as you. Never mind with that. Since he's such a great bowler, I feel like having him coming in last is just a great thing to have for your team. That way, if the guys in front of him aren't able to do good, he'll be able to come in last, and he'll be able to set the mark.
Absolutely, and I was thinking as we go into the order a little, as Brody is stepping in to bowl, it appears.
One thing I've noticed watching these guys bowl is when Dylan bowls, he only uses one hand to throw the ball, but when Ravi bowls, he uses 2. What would you think the advantage and disadvantage would be?
In town, and the Mariemont Warriors of Mariemont. So, 1 game left. We've been here all afternoon. We're excited. You're excited. We need a 12-pin lead. We are going to match it pin by pin. We've got the camera, but did not knock it over. I don't know how that works, but it did. It's hanging on. It's going to knock down the other pin. Ooh, interesting.
So the